Hello, Mark Red Larson here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining me. Well, today, God instilled a topic that has been kind of building over the last year. It's kind of heightened awareness today. Um, it is, as the title says, Escape the Matrix. And I got the title from my mind, Escape from Alcatraz. Alcatraz was a prison that was almost impossible to escape from. And I'm here to tell you that so is the Matrix. And yeah, it is. And both those movies, I don't own the rights to either one of them, so I'm just using them for the podcast use. And so, I really a year ago when this whole started with Cheryl and I, and all the struggles and everything that lack and humbling that we've been through, I never realized that it would bring us to this point. And there is no growth without struggle. And that doesn't just include what Cheryl and I have been through or anybody else has gone through what we've been going through. Whatever growth just takes struggle. And I heard a thing the other day where God doesn't use anybody that he doesn't break down first. And I understand that statement now. And but it is it's been tough. It's been very tough. But I would not change a thing because it has gotten us to today. And today I am awake. And I always thought that was kind of a corny thing. It's like, what does that mean? Awakening. It is you when you are awake. The Matrix is a movie. It was a movie. Just something made up. But I had somebody tell me years ago that The Matrix was a documentary. And I thought, yeah, right. I was still of the mindset that most of the people in the world in the United States are in. And I now, after being awake, see that it is a documentary. It is so much a documentary. And yeah, it's just all the stuff that we have to be aware of, and it seems like right now they're cranking the Matrix up, and escaping from the Matrix, unless you're awake, is almost impossible. And it's still impossible almost. It's much more attainable if you're awake because you can see the Matrix for what it is. But you just think about all the stuff that they have you do. They have you go to school. They have you get good grades. They have you go to college. They have you get a job. They, work 4 years. So, really, why does that have to be that way? You just accept it. And when you are awake, and I'm not going to keep saying that because it's overused greatly, but you see it differently. And I'm blessed that I did realize finally that you don't have to. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to do the typical thing. And in this day and age, it surprises me that that still is going on. But when you are, when you are aware, I like that word. So um, that you just realize that no, I don't have to do that. You don't have to have your kids go do this to keep up with the Joneses, or or play sports. That was the thing. You got to be in sports, and I have no problem with that. Sports, actually, I'm more into sports now at this age than I ever was then. I really didn't care for sports then, but I am now. But they put it in there. They push these kids into these things to really keep up with everything. You're going to be successful in life. You got to do this. You got to do that. No, you don't. You're just like everybody else, and you're doing exactly what they want you to do. Be the good person that is contributing to the Matrix. And they don't want you to be free thinking. They don't want you to have time to be free thinking either. Why do you think they have so many things? I mean, we are so bombarded right now in this world, especially in the United States. And it seems like it's getting very much worse because people are acting nuts. And I know my sister, who's a truck driver, said the same thing on the road. She said she'd never seen people driving. And I think that's one reason why there's so much road rage. They've got something. You got your phone, and most people have their phone right there, or and it's like they think they have to do it right then and there. If somebody, and I was the same way. I just had a text when I was on my way home, And I thought, no, I can do that later. It doesn't have to be done now. But we think everything has to be done now. And that just is like everything can't be done now. And we have to just sit back and chill. And I understand you have to work. And like Joyce Myers, and I've quoted this many times, you work peacefully at a peaceful rate. And I really didn't know what she meant. I figured slow, but I understand it now. If you're in a hurry, you're part of the matrix, and it's just you cannot catch your dreams when you're part of that, because all you're going to get done is responding to the matrix. Take that call, take the kids there, clean the house because the company's coming home, or a company's coming for supper or dinner or whatever it is, or we have to put on and really dress up because you got to look good. You want to keep up with the Joneses, and that they really dress nicely and have a nice house, and it's all part of the scheme of keeping us busy, because we are we have a busyness is a disease in this country, because I have problems not doing something at all. I feel guilty, and that's one thing where the Matrix says if you're not doing anything, you're lazy. You're slacker. They make it sound like it's a bad thing, and I'm here to tell you it's not a bad thing, because when you do not have any stimulus, I don't want any, nothing, no headphones, no nothing. You're out in nature or you're just meditating. You get talked to. And I've told you many times on this, silence has answers, and it does. But unless you have no sound, you can't hear it, because it doesn't talk to you like this. It talks to you like God talks to me. And that's when you hear what's real. These people who go for walks with the air, stuff in their ears, headphones or whatever they got, they're missing out on an opportunity. But that's part of the matrix, because it's like, well, I gotta be listening to the latest music, or and maybe you enjoy it, cool. But maybe you're thinking, I gotta learn something. I gotta be learning all the time. We don't want to fall behind in this society. Everything is just going so fast. I don't want to fall behind. I may not have work, and another thing they want you to do, because then they was like, well, go get another job. You got time. You're not. You can. Who needs to sleep? And it's like it's exactly what they want, because yeah, you pay more taxes into the government matrix. Um, they love it, and plus, when you're so busy, you don't really see what they're doing, and it's hard even when you're awake what they're doing. But I'm so aware now that what they're doing in this country, which is criminal, um, but I'm going to be here. That's one reason why God has me here, to find this stuff and bring it to you guys. And maybe you're thinking I'm crazy, but I'm not, because I see the things that they're doing, and it's almost like writing on the wall. It's just like, how did I not see this before? How can I see, or were there, Democrat against Republican? They're polarizing us so much. Well, if you're busy arguing with each other, they get free reign. They can do whatever they want. It's just like, man, they're busy. We can just, or it's like, we're going to, we got 80, so many more, I don't know how many it was, IRS agents to, we're going to make sure that we get our fair, the money coming in to the government. They got that backwards. Actually, we are the bosses. And it's just like, if we thought about this and woke up, we would think it's like, okay, you're losing trillions of dollars, billions of trillions of dollars every year. Why are we not auditing you? And why would we say anything why would we take advice from you at all, or take orders? Because you are showing that you're not competent. And it's past time, to take and hold the government accountable. Because why would I send more money in when they're probably going to lose it? And it's hard earned money. There was a lady the other day. She said to buy groceries, she had to go get a payday loan. And inflation is only 3 point whatever percent. Bull. They think, like Cheryl calls it, the poo poo platter. And they think you will take it because you have over the years. But yeah, when you realize this is all basically half truths and lies, you think, why would I listen to the government at all? And just like I don't know why we have the government in our healthcare, in our education, any of that. The government should not be in our education. They should not be there. I wonder how we did it before we had the Department of Education. And just like our colleges. Cheryl and I thankfully went to college before this all BS started, and we could still afford college. But when they get it so high, then you got to get loans, and you got to, get, federal aid, and then it's just like it's another. They got, another thing on your ear that they're gonna. Oh, I got you, and it's just like no, no. Get the government out. The government does not have the respect to be in education. They and that's not what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be running the government for the country, and that is not. That's running our lives, and for their benefit, because yeah, the more things they have nooses, they just tighten the noose, and it's the same with the medical system. We had Cheryl and I had health insurance before this stupid Affordable Care Act, which is criminal also. But no, we had because it's going to be affordable, and you can keep your doctor and you can keep your hospital. That's we found out has been a lie too. But we just go like good little children and follow them. And why? Once again, they have not earned the respect to be followed for any reason. It's just like, yeah, I don't even get to see my doctor. I maybe 2 seconds. I usually get somebody, a nurse practitioner, and I feel for them because they have to deal with the other side of this. I feel sorry for all of them. I feel sorry for teachers too. But it's just like we just let it allow, and what you allow continues. And it's time to wake up, all of us, because it won't change unless we do. And it just, and then this election, I don't care who's running. I'm an independent, so I'm not going to be Republican or Democrat. I am sick and tired of the childish behavior. They don't ever talk about what they're going to do to help the country. How are we going to get our $35 trillion debt down before we have to really default? And there is no more United States. They would love that. Yeah, they've been trying to break the United States forever, and we finally did it. And yeah, let's hold them accountable. Let's say, and I think this should have been a long time ago. You only have so much money. Everybody has the same amount of money they can use for this election. No special interest, no money comes in. If they get caught, they get prosecuted, and they're out of the election. So why do we allow these special interests to keep pouring money in? I mean, and I'm not going to say who either side, but we allow it, and it's just like no, we don't allow it in this country. That is not the way this country was set up. We talk about the topics. We talk about how we're going to get our businesses back in China and other countries. And I don't have a problem with those other countries because they're taking advantage of our government, making it so you can't hardly make a living in this country because they have, let's see, we have to have this regulation and this regulation and this regulation. And it's just like, if I were a business, I would go out of business too and find someplace else. Or this mandated minimum wage. That is not the way it works. You work, you get paid. And yeah, and base salary. Or, it's like, what is it? We need to have a base salary. It's like, how about we all take care of each other when we're not so busy running with our head cut off, or chicken, like a chicken with our head cut off. We can take care of each other and maybe have stuff set up right there for all of us to join arms and help everybody. But no, we count once again on the government to dictate on our pay, and then these poor business owners, which they seem like it's not a business, they just have money. Just they're flush with money. They're greedy, and it's just like no, they're not. Most of them are barely making any money, and I'm tired of this government, the media, everybody making the business owner be the person that's bad. Those people are providing work for these people, and they don't most of the time don't show up. They don't, there are good people out there that do, but is an epidemic of people that don't show up for work and don't even call. It's just, but we allow it. It's just like these poor business owners can't get anybody to show up to do this job, the work that they have. And what are they supposed to do? But the government has mandated you have to pay this, and it's like, no, we go back to how will you do it. And that's the same with healthcare. Yeah, I mean, I am kind of with a base, maybe like Sweden, one of those countries And why are we not copying these? We're supposed to be the best country in the world, but we are really dropping fast. There's one thing with this podcast. I talk to so many people, and like I've said many times, we're the laughing stock of the world. It's like the lady the other day that I'm going to have a podcast coming up soon. She had some things when she was born, and she said, "Thank God I was not born in the United States, or I wouldn't have gotten taken care of." In Sweden, it was taken care of, and she didn't really think she had to pay anything. And I basic care needs to be there. But this thing where you go and you don't know if they're going to charge you $100 for a pill or $5,000 for a pill, just like my wife had when she had her cancer. This one shot, which ended up being $10,000 a person, or a shot. I don't know where I got the person. Excuse me, but we know a person that's in the industry, and she said that shot goes for as little as $700. So what's the markup? That is not even, that's inhumane. And can you tell I'm worked up? I want people to wake up, because without waking up, you're not going to catch your dreams. And it's just going to continue to get worse, because they are going to continue to put the screws to you. They're going to continue to keep you busy. That's why everybody is so wound up, because they can't go any faster anymore. They can't afford. That's why no vehicles are selling, because they've gotten those of them so out of line that nobody can afford them. But they can't afford to fix their old vehicle because of all the stuff that the mechanic has to do. We only have everybody a book of regulations about a foot high, and on purpose, because they have to get that money back somehow, or they're going to close the doors. That's just the way business works. So you can't buy a car, you can't get your car fixed. You have maxed your credit cards out, so you're going to get a payday loan. I can tell you from experience, because Cheryl and I've been there. It's a bad ending. It is not a good ending, because eventually you run out of credit, you run out of money, you run out of everything. Then what do you do? Oh, maybe you could become homeless. Oh yeah, I'm homeless. So we'll put you on, all these programs. So another right around, they got you again. The government's got you, control. And instead of taking care of the homeless situation, we give them a meal, And there are organizations out there that are really doing very good things. So don't get me wrong on that. But we don't take care of the problem. Giving them a meal does help them for that moment and that meal, but that doesn't help them down the line. It doesn't help them 6 hours later when they're hungry again, or however long it is. We need to get together and make a solution. This country has solved so many problems. We were the leader of the world, but we just let the government take over, and we think the government is our controller. No, we are the controller of the government, and don't let them tell you otherwise. And then I just saw this thing. It's like, oh, the IRS is the worst one in the whole world for a collect. They'll just, all these things, and it's like, yeah, right. No, and that is one thing I also have learned, because they want you to pay all that stuff, but they don't care if you have food. It's just like, we don't care. We need our money. We need our pound of flesh. And yeah, this is probably the most wound up I've ever been on a podcast, but I've had it. I am fed up. And whatever I have to do to show people how to get out of this matrix, as much as you can, because this matrix is going to be always, I believe, there always. But if you're aware of it, it's much easier to see what they're doing. It's like, wow, it's just like right there in your face. And it's like, how did I not see this? But we do, because you cannot continue because they will continue to do that, and they are continuing to do that. And that's why we don't discuss anything. The politicians, they know that they got us. It's like, well, they'll be fighting infighting, and they won't care what we're doing. They won't care if we raise this or we pass this thing, and we take away this right, and we take away that right, and they do it slow enough, or they do those ones at midnight. Pass a bill, and it's not debated, or we put a whole bunch of bills together, and we might talk about one, but all of them, and just by default, all get passed. Wrong. If not every bill is not talked about, then it does not get passed. Period. No, I've had it, because this is the greatest country in the world, and we're going to keep it that way. And I hope we all lock arms, because that is what God has me here with many other people I am sure of in this world and in this country. Because there's going to be the biggest awakening on the planet Earth that's ever happened. And I talked to quite a few people, and that gives me hope because yeah, it gives me hope. And I think that I've talked on this long enough, but it's just like, don't fall for the thing. Don't do the busyness. You don't have to be going 24/7 just because you can in today's world. You take time. Take time to like I had coffee with my dad this morning. I could have been doing work, but the things, this is your life. You want to take time to take, because, that is a special moment. Work, it's always there. But and it's just like, and you're just like, well, I got to make money, Mark. And yeah, they're just going to keep having it so you make money. So you get another job and another job and another job, and you don't have time to think anything except work. It's like, I'm going to my fifth job. Oh, yeah, I'm so tired. I don't care what the government's doing. They're probably doing all right. Don't be so sure of that. So, but yeah, it's escape from, like I said, the Matrix is tough, and they've made it much tougher because people have not been paying attention, and people have not. They've been so busy that they have no time to raise their kids. Most people, and I'm not saying daycares aren't good, but the majority of people should be raising their kids. The daycares, I mean, I have to say it. It should be not the first choice. It's just like, it shouldn't. It just shouldn't, because you should raise your kids. And sometimes, where the daycare is right on premise, that's a little bit different. But I know when we first got married, I mean, these parents just drop their kids off every day, even if they weren't working. What's wrong with those people? These are your flesh and blood. There was people back before this, but I guarantee you, I can't imagine my parents ever doing that if they weren't working. They took the responsibility of raising my sister and I very seriously. And I know sometimes these parents are exhausted, and I understand some downtime, and downtime is good. But these people, like Cheryl said, we're going to play golf. They were going to do all this other stuff, and it's like, really? Go play golf when they're grown. Um, yeah, I got on my soapbox today, but we need to make sure we don't let what's going on continue, and we need to get the government, like I said, out of healthcare, out of education, everything with college, and that goes with education too. Anywhere they don't belong, there's no, and like what they're talking about on the vehicles, the start stop, which is BS, or pushing electric vehicles. And if you like electric vehicles, go for it. My dad has one; he loves it. I don't think they're very practical, and they're not environmentally sound because the batteries are extremely toxic. There's no way to go with them either. They catch fire. I know my dad, I talked to him this morning, and he said they're working on solid state batteries, which might be better. I'm not against the technology being moved forward, but it's just, I don't know. I'm frustrated, and I'm gonna wait for God to give me direction. He gave me direction on this, and it's just, and you feel for these people. It's like, I have to get a payday loan because I can't no longer afford groceries. Well, it's another way they're controlling you because you got a loan, and those payday loans, let me tell you, not a good thing. And or just, what is it? It says not a borrower B. I 100% agree with that now. Yeah, I learned my lesson. I've definitely learned my lesson. And if it's the last thing I do, I'm not going to be a borrower ever again. No, and that's why they keep escalating the price of things, houses, because you have to be a borrower. How can anybody? Most people are not going to have cash for a $75,000 Ram pickup, or and that's just one example. All the manufacturers are pretty much doing it, or $1 million home. Um, I know my dad talked to a guy on the interstate because he was charging me his electric vehicle, and he was from LA, and he couldn't take it anymore. He was quite wealthy, had $1 million home. He was moving to Iowa City because he just couldn't take it anymore. It was getting so expensive he couldn't even do it. And but they don't see that. And then people like, I mean, California. I love California, but their government is sucky. It is very sucky. It's a way not to do it. And you're probably going to say, and I love your state. I just don't like I really don't like your governor, and I don't like the way you treat homeless people out there, rounding them up. You know, that's 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 sick. It's just like those poor people. They had dreams, and because of the circumstances that they, which is very easy in this day and age to get to be homeless, they're getting rounded up like animals, and it's bad even when animals are done that way. So, But I'm ranting here, so but please next time think about, you don't have to do what the government says. And I'm not going to say we're going to have a revolution like that. That is not what I'm saying. Um, I am saying that um, we are the government's bosses. We are, not them to us. And and it's time to wake up from the matrix and escape the matrix, because the ending is not well and not good. And yeah, on that, I'm going to have some of my homemade kombucha and enjoy the rest of this day, because you need time to enjoy your life, because this is your life. This very moment is your life, and it's over all too soon. So on that, yeah, you won't see me by myself very much longer. I think I have about 20 different podcasts lined up to be recorded. So yeah, but my feelings are only going to get stronger on this. We have to take a stand, and yeah, we have to help each other on that. Take care. Talk soon. Bye.